All right, so this last weekend, thoughts are always flying through my head. And one of the things that I want to try to prove is where funding goes. It's getting really hard for me to get any answers out of the Los Angeles Unified School District. I'm going to have to take them to court for this, right? They know I don't have the money, time, resources, energy. They know, but I'm gonna I'm gonna try. I'm just gonna try. I'm gonna do anything it takes till the day I die. So I thought to myself, okay, I need to prove to the public that they are mishandling funds, our funds. They take money from our taxes and from the state and per student, and they distribute it however they'll call it, how they feel, is best for the students, right? They'll argue, because they've told me, we hold meetings and we discuss which schools need it the most, what programs we can open, things like that, right? When you ask for that information, you're met with resistance. So I thought, okay, let me see what I could do, just going online, right? Just going online and seeing what they can, what my public can see for themselves. I was talking to my husband. I told him, I'm gonna need help. Like, he was like, yeah, like, he's really good at researching stuff. So he came across this. At the same time, while he was researching this, what I'm about to read to you right now, I went under the LAUSD website and I searched for schools. I want to know how many schools the Los Angeles Unified School District is in control of. Well, they're in control of 1,622 schools. So, actually, you know what? Let me pull that up right now. Directories, school search. So you go to LAUSD website, you go to school search, school explorer. No. Please don't tell me that they caught on. Directories. School directory. School directory. Okay, you go to school directory, you leave it blank, and you hit search. When you do that, the list of every single school under the LAUSD umbrella will show up. 1,622 matches found. So I just wanted to share with you. There are 7 regions under the LAUSD. Okay, 7 regions. North, South, East, West. The Division of Adult and Career Education and Independent Charter and Option Schools. Central. Okay, 7 regions. 1,622 schools, 7 regions. That make it 7 districts within the district. So they separate it, right? And everybody's in charge of their own district within the LAUSD district. Community of schools. So this is where I thought, okay, cool. From the 1,622, instead of searching all of them, I looked up the community of schools, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. Okay, there's 42 community of schools. So that's like, so those are like subsections, right? Like here, Southgate's on here. They have Bell, Cudahy, and Maywood all in one section. They have Canoga Park, Chatsworth all in one section. They have Boyle Heights in its own. Downtown, MacArthur Park, Eagle Rock, Highland Park. So I thought, okay, it's getting hard for me to find all the information, right? Like, I'm literally like, hey, district, give me all kinds of documents as far as funding. And I don't narrow it quite down. So I need to start making it as easy as possible for the district so that I could, the goal is to get a hold of this information, right? So I want to know how much funding, like how much they spend and for what. So I'm just going to throw it out there, right? How much are they spending in Southgate versus Eagle Rock versus, let me see, Los Feliz. So Gazelle Park, Los Feliz is on here. Highland Park, Eagle Rock. Okay. Let me see. North Hollywood, Valley Village. Okay. So I was telling my husband, I want to know how much money are they putting into Southgate schools versus, one of these community of schools that are in rich areas. So first I need to find out which one of these is the richest area. But just for me, I thought, okay, you know what? Let me look up Eagle Rock. So I looked up the schools in Eagle Rock. So I went to the search. And so watch. Let me get out of this. So then I clicked on Eagle Rock, and it narrows down the list to, I think it was like 70 something schools, right? So I just highlighted it. I put it on a AI website, and I compared it to Southgate. So just a general, right? Just a general, like some general information to share with the public before I'm able to get the actual public information. So I'm working really hard to do that, but I might have to go to court, and it might take me like a year or two. But if that's what has to happen, that's what's going to happen. And when I uploaded it to it stated that it noticed all right. So I'm just going to read to you this report, okay? This report is prepared by La Revolución 1984 Incorporated, a community advocacy organization dedicated to advancing educational equity and access for undeserved communities. Yes, that's true. This report examines disparities in access to specialized academic programs within the LAUSD, specifically comparing schools located in the Eagle Rock, Highland Park, Los Feliz region to those located in Southgate. The purpose of this report is to identify whether students in different geographic regions are provided equitable access to enrich academic opportunities, including magnet programs, gifted programs, dual language programs, and specialized academic tracks. It goes on to say, data for this report was compiled using publicly available LAUSD school directory records. Schools were categorized into 2 regional clusters. 1, Eagle Rock, Highland Park, Los Feliz, and 2, Southgate. So this is just a comparison because this is my city, and I'm doing this for my community within my city. Each school was analyzed based on the presence of the following program types: magnet programs, including STEM, arts, film, engineering, etc., etc. Gifted and highly gifted programs, dual language programs, early education centers, program density per campus. The analysis focused on both the quantity and diversity of academic offerings. The findings: A, program density and distribution. The Eagle Rock, Highland Park, Los Feliz region demonstrates a significantly higher concentration of specialized academic programs per campus. Many campuses in this region host multiple concurrent programs, including combinations of general education, magnet programs, dual language programs, and gifted tracks. In contrast, Southgate schools typically offer one specialized program per campus, most commonly a single magnet or dual program. Multi-program campuses are far less common. B. Magnet program availability. The Eagle Rock Los Feliz cluster contains a substantially higher number of magnet programs, including multiple magnet strands within the same school site. Southgate schools do offer magnet programs. However, these are fewer in number and are generally limited to one per campus. The overall density of magnet opportunities is lower. Gifted and highly gifted programs. Gifted and highly gifted magnet programs are presented in the Eagle Rock Los Feliz region, including multiple sites offering advanced academic pathways. Based on the reviewed data, equivalent highly gifted program access is not evident within Southgate schools. This represents a critical disparity in access to advanced academic instruction. D. Diversity of program offerings. Schools in Eagle Rock Los Feliz regions offer a broader range of specialized themes, including arts and performing arts, film and media, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, medical, and engineering pathways. Southgate schools primarily offer general education programs, dual language programs, standard STEM magnets. The range and specialization of academic opportunities are more limited. Geographic clustering of resources. Specialized academic programs are heavily concentrated in the Eagle Rock, Highland Park, Los Feliz regions. Southgate schools, while serving a large student population, have fewer advanced academic pathways available per campus. This indicates a geographic imbalance in the distribution of educational resources. So, the data reflects a pattern of unequal access to enriched academic programming across geographic regions within the LAUSD. And that's just comparing to that region, right? While funding formulas may be applied on a per pupil basis, so that's what they tell us, right? They're receiving funding per student, right? So all of our Southgate students, they're receiving equal funding for them, equal funding for Eagle Rock, Los Feliz, and that region has all these excess programs that our Southgate schools do not have or are very limited. While funding formulas may be applied on a per pupil basis, access to specialized programs is not evenly distributed. Students in certain regions benefit from greater exposure to advanced coursework, specialized instruction, and enriched academic environments. Students in Southgate appear to have fewer opportunities to participate in highly gifted programs, multiple concurrent academic pathways, diverse thematic magnet programs. This disparity may contribute to broader educational inequities, including differences in academic outcomes, college readiness, and long-term opportunity. Conclusion. The comparison between Eagle Rock and Highland Park, Los Feliz, and Southgate reveals a measurable disparity in access to specialized academic programs. Key conclusions include, number one, higher program density in Eagle Rock, Los Feliz schools, greater availability of magnet programs and specialized tracks, presence of gifted and highly gifted programs in one region and not the other, broader diversity of academic offerings in more resourced areas. These findings support the conclusion that students in Southgate are provided fewer enriched academic opportunities relative to their peers in other LAUSD regions. So, yeah. Students' nutrition. So yeah. All right, so my heart is beating pretty fast. That's one thing that sorry. I drink my coffee in these sometimes. Just to not wash dishes. It's really hard for me to cope with these things. Okay, I want to make something clear. This is information. This is very general, basic information that I'm providing here. This is me taking from the list of schools. I literally just copied it and posted it from Southgate schools to Eagle Rock, Highland Park, Los Feliz. And just off the titles, right? Just off the titles of the schools, are you able to get this kind of information? So they're seeing titles like Magnet, something, elementary, STEM, so just off titles, right? Now, can you guys imagine? Can you guys just imagine the high schools for these guys, okay? With all these programs. Can you imagine what scores look like as far as like SAT scores, the KC exams, IQ testing, college preparation, anything that has to do with, hey, where are you at, children, when you go to college? What would that look like? That's my next step. Okay, so that's my next step. I just made that note yesterday. I was like, I want to see what those scores look like, because if our Southgate kids are going to college and those Eagle Rock, Highland Park, Los Feliz kids are going to the same college, and our Southgate kids, they're going to, is it safe to say that they're going to receive the same curriculum, or is it that they'll have, like, let's say placement exams, and they're like, oh, okay, well, these guys scored here, Southgate, so they have to kind of start down here. They're going to need more schooling and more help and more tutoring. And these guys scored pretty high because in high school they have all these extracurricular activities, all these extra STEM programs, all these extra magnet programs. They've probably been in magnet since they were in elementary. They're going to score higher, be placed higher, either finish school faster or not feel the burnout as hard. You know what I mean? Like, when I talk to the youth, and I could see their struggles. I can see them feeling like really sideswiped by college. And maybe some of them may not have. Maybe some of them were the ones that smashed themselves into those programs. You know, they always were on that good track. But what about the ones that, I don't know if there's, see, this is why this generic information, like, it's not enough for me, right? And this is the goal. I want to know all the little details. Who knew about these programs? Who knew that they existed? Do the principals, do they do enough for the children? Do they promote these enough? Are they afraid that they're going to overfill? Is there a waiting period for our students? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, so when they get to college and those Eagle Rock kids get to college in Highland Park and Los Feliz, what does that look like? I just need to know what that looks like. I'm trying to not speak with anger, but it's frustrating, you know? I want to know how prepared our Southgate youth is when they enter college, when they enter universities with these guys. I don't want them to feel less than anyone. And this is not an ego thing, you know. I want them to succeed. So I humans have emotions, right? And if these guys are like, you know, what if, let's just paint the scenario. What if they become friends? They meet each other and they're like, oh, hey, you know, I'm from Eagle Rock or Los Feliz or Highland Park, and oh, well, I'm from Southgate, and let's take this class together. Oh, well, no, I can't. I scored lower, so I have to take, 101 while this guy's already at 105, starting off. You know what I mean? I don't know if I didn't. I mean, I went to ELAC, but I took the automotive program, and I don't remember how those numbers go. But do you kind of get what I'm saying? Like, why? Well, why would it be like that? That's the heartbreaking part. So that's what I've been trying to say. So I'm just gonna continue to give this information. I don't want to bombard you guys with anything, and yeah, so that's that. Okay, so now that I have a little bit of a starting track, that's the research I did, just barely point A. So I'm gonna just continue and see how much more I can get, and just follow up. Sorry about my videos. I know I've been told that like I don't give enough information, and I don't give even like a starting information, because I assume that you've been following my videos and you kind of know where we're at. And also, I just throw these things out there because maybe I'll make one super long video and I'll just get clips of everything that I've been saying. So yeah, anyways, moving on. So my husband, while I was doing this, he was helping me out with research, and he said, "Hey, Sin, you need to see this." All right. I'm getting overexcited about this organization. I'm hoping that I didn't even know this thing existed. And I would tell Eric, like, there has to be someone out there who just is not in agreement with the LAUSD as much as I am. Like, I cannot possibly be the only one. Like, is everybody part of the machine? And these guys, I'm hoping, are not, and it seems like they're not, and they're saying that they're not. So it's the 74, it's called the 74million.org, and they are a nonprofit organization, and I think it explains what they are. So I'm just gonna read this to just show you guys what we found, what my husband found. So it says, attendance zones keep LA's best schools for wealthy kids and shut out the rest. So it was crazy because I was like, I'm trying to compare in every which way: school meals, activities, sports, programs. Like, I am trying to tell people, hey, they're taking from your child and distributing it how they deem the best choice. And in my heart, and I say in my heart, but really, I talk to a lot of people, right? We all know that a lot of that money's going over there with the wealthy kids. So when I read this, he was like, you're not going to believe this. It made my stomach drop because I don't like the information. Like, it makes me sick, but I couldn't believe that somebody was putting this out there. And this is recent. So it says, attendance zones keep LA's best schools for wealthy kids and shut out the rest. So the author, his name is DeRoche, says, in 105 LA primary schools, 70% of students don't read at grade level. Boundaries based on racist 1930s redlining maps keep them there. So it shows a map. Tim DeRoche. So this was published in November 12, 2025. If you're a white student in LA elementary schools, the odds are stacked against you. Your chances of attending a school in which 7 out of 10 of your classmates can read at grade level are only 40%. That's less than even odds. Asian students have it even worse. Only 29% attend a school where 7 out of 10 students are reading at grade level. But look at the odds you face if you're not white or Asian. In LA, only 3% of Hispanic elementary students and 4% of Black students attend a school where 7 of 10 kids are reading at grade level. This shocking data comes from the California Department of Education. My friends. So it shows the data graph. My organization, available to all, is a nonprofit. So this is these guys, okay? So I want to make sure I promote these guys because they just became my new heroes. My organization, available to all, is a nonprofit watchdog that defends equal access to public schools. Our analysis of state data shines a light on the 456 zoned elementary schools in the LAUSD, the K through 5 or K through 6 schools that are the default assignment for hundreds of thousands of LA children. Over 190,000 children attended these schools in 2023, 2024, the last year for which data is available. Of these 456 schools, only 39 have 70% of their students reading at grade level. At 105 of these schools, fewer than 30% of kids are reading proficiently. Oh my God. Oh my God, I can't. Oh my God. I'm sorry. Oh my God. Oh God. What is absolutely crucial to understand is that discrepancies of this size can exist only if a government entity enforces them. Imagine for a moment 2 post offices. At one, 70% of letters and packages get delivered as promised. It's not great, but we'll call it pretty good. At the other post offices, 3 out of 4 packages get lost or damaged, and only 25% arrive on time in their original condition. As soon as this data became public, people would stop going to the bad post office. Hundreds of people would drive to the pretty good post office, even if it was much farther away. Long lines would form outside the door. The bad post office would have to improve or face an empty lobby. So the question is, how does LAUSD enforce these discrepancies? How does it prevent tens of thousands of families from lining up outside the doors of those few elementary schools where most of the kids can read? Sorry. The answer is attendance zones. The district draws a meandering line around each elementary school, determining who is and who isn't allowed to attend. The problem is, of course, that these coveted schools are located in some of the priciest parts of town. The lines typically encircle expensive single-family homes that are on large lots. What's more, the home prices in these zones are distorted because the house comes with exclusive access to a desirable public school. I know it sounds expensive. The real estate agent will say, but if you buy a home in this zone, you won't have to pay for private school. These are quasi-private schools for wealthy Angelinos, but they're operated on the public's dime. Our research has shown that Los Angeles is one of many cities where coveted elementary schools have attendance zones that mirror the racist redlining maps from the 1930s. Once again, families in less wealthy areas are boxed out, especially African American and Hispanic kids, as well as working and middle-class people of all races. What's incredible is that such exclusivity is, see, I'm one of those, is possible in a system that has so many half-empty schools. Almost half of LA's elementary schools, 225 of 456, have seen enrollment drop more than 50% in the last 15 years. You would expect that with so much overcapacity, families would have their pick of public schools. Even the highest performing schools are below their full capacity. In the 39 elementary schools with over 70% of kids reading at grade level, enrollment is down over 7,000. That's 7,000 seats that could be available to students who are currently assigned to failing schools, often within a mile or two. California's 1994 open enrollment law requires the district to make open seats available to students who live outside school attendance zones. But LAUSD has treated this policy as voluntarily, telling principals as recently as 2018 that it is their choice whether to report open seats. Thus, these 39 schools reported only 58 open seats for this school year, less than 2% of what we'd expect to see based on their historical enrollment. Of the 39 high-performing elementary schools, 15 of them are affiliated conversion charters, meaning they are operated by LAUSD but don't have to participate in open enrollment. However, they are required by the state's charter school law to hold a lottery for any open seats. My organization called each of these schools, and 14 indicated that they could not accept any applicants from outside the zone since they were full. But again, these schools are below their historical peak enrollment and should have at least 2,589 seats available. The hard truth is this: principals in these high-performing zone schools do not seem to want to make their open seats available to children outside the school zone. Doing so might threaten the exclusive nature of the school, and that exclusivity is exactly what families are paying for when they take out their oversized mortgages. But it doesn't have to be this way. In the 20 years since Hurricane Katrina, New Orleans has abolished attendance zone assignments. Test scores are up, as are graduation rates and college enrollment. In California, the state legislature ended geographic assignment for community colleges in the 1980s. Okay, I want to go back. So when they abolished attendance zone assignments, test scores were up and graduation rates and college enrollment. So yeah, they opened the gates for the little Hispanic and African American children, and they all swooped in, and guess what? They graduated and they enrolled in college. I get it, and hey, people from these schools, I hate labels, but let's go ahead and label it people from these rich areas. I know you're a little bit afraid to let us in. I get it. Trust me. I understand. Humans are humans, right? And sometimes, I'll speak for Hispanics. We make mistakes and we give ourselves a narrative. I want to change that, If you let a little bit of color into your child's life, I know it's scary, but it can be the best thing that happened to your child. Their same colored peers may not be the greatest either, and to me personally, when I think about, I don't want to call it racism. I don't believe in labels, but let's just say a parent is just hesitant. Let's just say they're like, oh my God, if we allow all these, African American and Hispanic kids to flood our schools, like, they can act a certain way. Like, if I have to change that first, I'll do that. I have no problem in saying, hey, maybe in the past, it could have been like that, but I trust us, I want to lead my community. I want us to prove, hey, we get it. Just give us another chance. We'll show you guys. All we want is just a good education. We want our kids to go to college. Our kids, they could change your child's life. Like, the other day I went to the park, and my little one, like, he's really friendly. We went to a nice park. We just happened to be there. We were at Fullerton, and this little Caucasian boy, came up to him, and my boy, he was like, hi, like, how are you? And he was like, oh, good, how are you? And they like said hi and stuff, and it's like, oh, my name is Rita. And then the little Caucasian boy told my son, hey, can you push me on the swing? Because I have no one to push me, and my mom's tired. And my boy was like, yeah, of course. And it seemed like my son was even younger than that boy, and he just started pushing him in the swing. And the kid was like laughing, so adorable. And my son, it was the most beautiful thing. He the little boy was talking to him, and when he was done, he was like, okay, I'm gonna get off now, and I'm gonna walk like over there. And my son told him, yeah, cool, go ahead. And he came up to me, he's like, hey mom, do you want to talk to his mom and tell her about the revolution, about the organization? Because I think maybe that boy might have been under the spectrum. And I told him, mijo, I didn't bring any cards on me, and I'm a little, parks make me like super edgy. So I was right there with my son. And I if I leave my son, he doesn't like the sand. I have to make sure I carry him everywhere or help him to, put on his shoes and for us to walk through the sand. I was like, oh, dang, thank you, buddy. Like that you're thinking that way. But maybe next time. I swear, like I'm right now. I just feel a little like I have to focus on this guy, because if we get into like a big conversation, my son might have behaviors, and I felt bad because we hardly ever take my son to a park. It just was like a random thing, and he was having such a good time. But the point is that I thought, man, like my son is Hispanic. And this little boy was like a super little Caucasian boy. And just looking at them, they were dressed different, they spoke different, they everything about these two was complete opposite. But my son, he's just such a beautiful soul. And I thought, man, like I get it. I can understand, the mom being like, stay away from that kid. I could. And I don't, those things, they don't mortify me anymore. They used to once upon a time, but now they don't. Now I'm like, okay, if something maybe happened to you one time, that's okay for you to feel like that, like a little defensive. Like, I don't think it's always racist. You know what I mean? Like, maybe it's just you're just a little extra like nervous or something, and that's okay. Like I want my community to show the world that we're different, that we're cool. But first we have to be different and be cool. I can't represent all of Hispanics and say we're all cool. No, I it's not like that at all. But in my community, I want us all to be cool. To have each other's backs and to show other races like, hey, we're cool. And if you guys are cool, like let's just be cool. So, but still on some level, when it comes to this, like education, it's like, okay, let's just get there already, so that you can open the gates for our kids. That's actually not what I want. I want to completely destroy the Los Angeles Unified School District so that every city has its own, schools. So, but I just wanted to show you guys, look at this organization. They're saying the same thing that our organization is saying. So I'm just so happy. So moving on. Sorry about that side quest. So yeah, New Orleans abolished attendance, test scores are up, and graduation rates and college enrollment. In California, the state legislature ended geographic assignment for community colleges in the 1980s. In the years after this reform, enrollment rebounded after years of decline. Today, the community college system is a crown jewel of the state, championed by Republicans and Democrats alike. America was built on the idea that even a kid from the wrong side of the tracks can go on to become a business owner, a doctor, a politician, a professor, or a general in the military. History has proven that to be true, but here in the 21st century, middle class and low income kids are blocked from fulfilling their potential, locked out of the best public schools, even ones that their families' tax dollars pay for. It's not fair, it's not just, and it's time to make a change. This is, again, Tim DeRoche, founder and president of Available to All, a nonpartisan watchdog devoted to defending. So I guess the organization is called Available to All, devoted to defending equal access to public schools. He is the author of A Fine Line. Oh, so here's a book that I want to purchase. Also, a fine line, how most American kids are kept out of the best public schools. So yeah, so that's the article. Please, if you just type in www.the74million.org, please follow them, write to them. I'm going to try to get a hold of them so that we can link up. Please pray for that to happen, please. If you guys want to see some wild stuff, just pray for that to happen, please. Just God, link her to him and watch the magic happen. Like, it just gave me hope, you know. So I don't know, but yeah, that's the information I wanted to share with you guys today. I'm still trying to process it all. I can't stand reading things like this. Yeah, it hurts, but I'm going to try to grow my faith once again in God, and, you know, hopefully he gives me the strength to just keep going. My goal is to pull all of Southgate schools away from the grip of LAUSD so that we could be given a fair chance. So that's what I'm going to do. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope I was able to give some good information. And yeah, just see you guys next time.